Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
This huge boot camp, they're doing a lot better. I do think, despite the fact that, I'm sorry, I might have cursed them. That last
she says
base
as she
push,
smiles.
they have shown a little bit more patience than what we saw from them last split, especially going up against TL. Even the wins they did kind of manage to sneak, it always felt like, oh, okay, they snuck a win through like a really lucky team fight. This, to me, is still 100 Thieves playing a lot better than what I saw from them last year.
And dare I say it, Quid is looking like he's back in MVP form.
Yeah.
Up until like 38 minutes into that game, he still played the late phase.
Smurfing.
He was 19,000 gold on that Silas, did as much damage as the Azir and Varus, but couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, as we see the preliminary bans coming through, Talia and Kalista taken off the table by 100
No
Thieves.
Ambessa or Cassante yet, as those have been banned out.
They're both up still. The Yone and the Skarner taken out by TL.
There are still a lot of really good champions on the table, even though there's going to be 26 champions banned out by the time the first one gets picked, thanks to the 15 previous Fearless, or 20 previous Fearless bans and 6 bans in this stage. So I'm still thinking that these teams can put together some pretty strong team comps.
Also interesting to see the Ivern ban go down, since that's something we've seen like as a response. If teams are letting the Skarner through, then Ivern will be a response to that. But 100 Thieves already saying no. We do not want to see all of that healing and shielding coming out of Ivern.
You know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see them. I was going to say I wouldn't have been surprised to see TL ban Ambessa and just say, well, Sniper's not going to play Cassante. He's not the Cassante guy, but he is going to first pick Cassante right away. And will Impact play the Ambessa? He looks like is hovered. Will he lock it in? Because this was one of those champions that I think a lot of people are looking at and like, yeah, you have some carries that you can play Impact, but Ambessa wouldn't be one of them. I think a lot of people look at this as one of the most mechanically difficult champions. You have to play a very squishy build. You really have to be on point with how you play out these fights. It is an advantageous matchup into Cassante, but that being said, team fighting is where it really gets difficult. Now Impact has a chance to prove us all wrong.
And I think this is the matchup you just have to handshake into if you're going to be a top laner on this patch. But I do also find it funny or interesting how many denial picks there have been. Rather than teams and these teams just picking what they think they're best at, they've almost been more likely to pick what they think the other team would be best at. And Emily, we finally see the Zyra you've been calling for.
I was talking about this with Jat before, like as we were just kind of waiting around in the green room before waiting room. And I was wondering, the Zyra priority, we haven't had as high of a priority on it as we've seen from some of the Fearless drafts coming out of LPL and LCK teams. It'll be really interesting to see if River does respond with the Nidalee. But yeah, that is a really interesting pick for specifically as well. We were wondering like what he would end up picking up once his staples were gone. But it is going to be the Kai'Sa coming out for FBI.
Really interesting if Kai'Sa is pickable here, because some of the other lane bullies are already down, like Ashe or Varus or Kalista. But I still think I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw Yon reach back for like a Jinx or an Aphelios even, just if they're able to catch the Kai'Sa in lane, because those are traditionally things that stop blind pick Kai'Sas. But that's the thing that this Game 3 Fearless gives us, is this type of unknown.
Assuming it is Zyra jungle, which I'm assuming, first time will have played it in his career. Even though it was quite meta, never played it, not a single game in pro play. So it's interesting to see him swapping over towards this. And this is where Fearless can start to get interesting. As you get deeper into the series, you have to show us what else you've got. Galio coming through as a potential answer here to the Victor. I think it is kind of like something that is an answer, but also you can just go first strike Victor and kind of just farm gold off the Galio and always have the push. So it does need to be paired with some really powerful engage. Public execution is a way in, but it is not a consistent way in for the Galio. So I do think this means you need hard engage from the bot lane if you're going this route. And when we're this deep into the Fearless, well, you could maybe throw a couple hard engage bans. Gets tough.
We got to think, though, with Core JJ on this team, that could be a support Galio. When I see Galio on team Liquid, I actually think Core JJ more than EPA.
You know what's really funny, though, is I had a conversation this year with Core about Galio, and he was saying, I was convinced that support Galio was really, really good, and I put in like 50 games, and he's like, my conclusion, it's worse in every way than Alistar.
Oh, no.
And so he's like, it was a waste of time, but maybe not.
And once again, we see the Lulu getting banned out. So 100 Thieves really do not want to deal with whatever they've been seeing out of Lulu.
It's the Lulu Scrim God.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the thing with me for Core is that I still value his engage sense for these fights so highly. There was a point in time on TL where I thought they had so much difficulty engaging for a fight at all if it was not Core starting it, right? Which is why I am really curious to see what he is going to end up picking, or if, like you said, maybe they flex the Galio bot.
Yeah, I'm thinking more about 100 Thieves' choices now that the Alistar has been banned out. There are still good engage options in the Leona and the Rel. With that being said, you don't really love playing Leona and Rel into Zyra Galio team comps as it is, so I do like generally what Team Liquid has structured here into something like Kai'Sa.
Yeah, it's also interesting because when you see the Victor pairing, you're thinking, okay,
sorry,
maybe they
Leona.
want, you know, like a physical damage jungler. So we do have the Viego banned out. Obviously, Vi's gone. Xin Zhao's gone. They take away the Leona here, so that is some hard engage for Core, meaning this should be the APA mid lane Galio, and we're just kind of waiting on that AD carry for Ian.
It also, so I'd missed the Rel ban. So Rel's gone, Leona's gone, Alistar's gone, Nautilus is gone, Rakan is gone. What are the engaged supports that are left?
I mean, you can put like a Mumu support and stuff. There's lots of like random stuff that you can do. You can do Elise if you want to go really lane focused. I think Elise is super hard to play in team fights, but it is a very strong pick. And if you get ahead, you can kind of just run around the map as a second jungler, and your upfront damage is crazy. Like, I have seen some Elises get ahead, you know, be able to get an early Storm Surge and just run over games, but it is very high risk, high reward, because you're looking at like Zyra ult and Galio taunt and getting stunned one time by a Leona and just instantaneously dying in every fight.
Yeah, and as we see, Wukong coming out for River, so he should be able to jump on for some of these fights. I think Elise is so risky, and I've seen a lot of players come out and have really strong support Elise performances, and I've seen some pretty rough ones from some of our LCK supports in particular.
I think Alo is coming off a really, kind of strong couple of games. He's been playing very well. I was impressed with him. And now we'll have to see, can he actually perform on it? Jinx is going to get locked in here for Ian. Yeah. Very exciting. It does have that peel from the Galio, of course, as well as the disengage from the Zyra. It's very hard to dive through the Zyra plants and ultimates. It can be quite difficult to reach there, but there are some pretty good backline tools.
This is going to be a really exciting game. Team Liquid, I think, a lot of times with the Jinx, you'd want to have either an Enchanter or a Thresh, but with the Galio mid lane and later game team fights, it might be enough protection for the Jinx to succeed, so I like how they tried to work that in there into the Kai'Sa. I think there's just a lot of execution tests that end up happening from this Game 3 Fearless, like, can Impact play Ambessa at a high level? What will Umti's first Zyra game look like? And how is Ayla's roaming or lane dominant support Elise going to look? Because it's so squishy, it's so bursty, and it's so different than what we normally see out of him.
Yeah, and we'll also see, again, whether a lane swap might be coming through from either of these teams. Fun fact about last game that we might see, it started off slow, ended up in a lot of team fights. All carries had more than 1k damage per minute that entire game.
Wow. That's a lot of fighting.
That is how, like, scrappy we've been getting in the mid to late game, and I do think 100 Thieves in particular as a team do drag their opponents into that, right? So for both of these teams, it's really going to be about setup around objectives and who's able to get the fight off better.
Well, we are heading on into game. The winner goes to Brazil, claims themselves one of the top 2 seeds. TL, of course, heavy favorite coming on into this one, and Quid had something to say about that, has had really impressive performances, back-to-back games, over 1,000 damage per minute in both games, 5 solo kills so far in the series, as well as 20 kills and only 8 deaths, in addition to 20 assists.
He's back.
This guy has been smurfing.
The spring MVP from last year really popping off so far in this series. You can get similar damage numbers on Victor. It's not going to be as immediate, though. Victor definitely takes a little bit of time, which is a little different than the stuff that Quid has really excelled on in the past, that you can really start getting mid-jungle duos and 2v2 kills early on. That's not going to be the case here with the Victor.
And he's not a playmaker. You know, he's one of those champions that you have to stay generally very safe. You know, maybe if you get hyper late game, you can flash in and try to one-shot someone. But generally speaking, it's much more about positioning. It's much more about control. And, you know, it is a very different style here. It's also somewhat, I think, disconnected from what the rest of the team wants to do. When I look at what the rest of the team wants to do, it's all dive. Victor can sometimes struggle to follow up on that. So it'll be interesting to see how they play out these fights. And this is one of the things that I talk to coaches a lot about, you know, coming into the season is, you know, the whole idea of, as we may see Sniper in a little bit of trouble. He's kind of awkwardly walking past here, but going to get chunked out. Doesn't get any of the XP as well. So, you know, as you got deeper into Fearless Draft, coaches are talking about, you think, oh, well, I can play this, so you just put that in. Oh, he can play Victor, you just shove that in. But it can be really hard to keep track of how your comp functions while also still getting picks that work for your players.
Yeah, when I've seen it work out best, especially when we were getting to best of fives in LPL, it was like, okay, we have a player who can play, you know, who's really skilled in something like Kindred, right? So we're going to design a specific composition around that pick. And that's kind of how people have been approaching it, especially when you get to a game 4 or game 5 with even more champions taken off the table.
It's going to be a fun one. We have had a lot of action through 2 games. Not so much in the early game last game, but team fight after team fight after team fight. Heading top. They are going to look for a potential dive here. Sniper just hit 2. And I think this gets really tough. If he stays under the turret, he levels W second. This is going to be tough, but they are going to look for it. Core's going to start this up. Nice buffer on the W. They are looking for a potential dive on the bot side as well. Core now can't tank anymore, and Core's kind of on the wrong side here. They only got him to half. This didn't quite work out, and meanwhile, Wukong's just farming. He's going to flash through. He might get Core. One more auto could do it. Can't quite do it. W buffer takes down the plant, but first blood is grabbed. Does he get the kill back? I didn't see. It's an execute as Yon is taken down.
But it should still be experience for that kill. He does have his teleport this time, so that's one of those things where also the turret keeps hitting hard. It's a 5-second cooldown now, so it was just almost impossible.
Yeah, Ayla flashing forward, hits the cocoon. There's Impact in a lot of trouble. Impact going to fall here for sure. Ayla gets it, and take note of Jinx's farm versus Kai'Sa. They missed a lot of CS there. They were really focusing on the dive, focusing on the push, and Yon now walking back here, has no barrier, right into the cocoon. Here comes River. Yon is going to flash out, but there could be a flash to follow. Ayla is not able to get there. FBI flashes forward, just barely can't finish him off. A little bit disjointed because River going to flash follow too.
And when we talked about when TL were really good in the swaps, it was on like when to swap back, right? So this is great. Coming out of 100 Thieves, recognizing that they're going to be coming back to that lane, able to jump in. This support, at least thus far, Ayla's doing work on it.
30 CS to 10. Yon lives, but he doesn't get the wave again. Yon has been put so far down out of a lane swap. You just don't expect this type of situation.
Yeah, it was a disaster, but on the bright side, it wasn't worse because he did escape. He didn't die that time, but
he's
summer
feeling
spells.
Like a top laner out there.
Yeah, I know.
And now it's 2v2 laning, so at least there are low summoner spells on the side of 100 Thieves, but I don't necessarily know if Umti can bail him out in any type of gank. That was just, in terms of like lane swap outcomes in the last 18 months, maybe the worst one we've seen from Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had talked about how, like, conversely rough 100 Thieves and specifically Sniper have looked in responding to lane swaps. I do think they've looked overall better, but this is just as we're fighting bot 2v2 again.
We are scrapping again here. Ayla getting pushed back. Umti's coming down, as is APA. They know they need Yon to be back in this game. And FBI and Ayla are just going to have to abandon ship here. They are going to back it up. They do spot him, but no summoners here. Could be a flash play from APA. It is. There's the taunt flash. Nice. He's going to get rooted up. He's going to get knocked down. Wow. Nice play and a very needed one. Now the teleport coming through. It is quite late. Quid is here. It is just a 2v4, though. Can they actually clear out the wave? The gravity field going to get dropped. This could be difficult. Core JJ tanking up, but Core JJ slated to go down. The first kill goes the way of 100 Thieves. Quid now trying to survive, trying to get the Q shield. Another kill goes over. Ayla's going to get a third. This is a disaster. APA's got no flash. He's going to get slapped down. 4 kills going the way of 100 Thieves, and a big early game lead will be opened up.
That is so good for 100 Thieves. This game is an absolute bloodbath so far. I loved the original play, killing FBI because they needed to get Yon back in the game, but then they stayed.
They stayed, and the TP comes in from Quid. Ayla is actually looking pretty good on this support, at least, right? He's looking super, super comfortable. They're able, TL is not able to juggle the turret aggro. The turret is doing so much damage. River comes in off the backside of this, and then they're able to clean up APA, massive turnaround from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, it is so tough to dive, and that's why people don't really do it as much anymore. The turret heats up faster, does way more damage. You saw the gravity field disrupting things, multiple Q shields coming out from the Victor, good repel from Ayla. They just had so much ways to delay here, and River is back, and we are just scrapping again. in a lot of trouble here. Ayla gets in on top of me, flashes out to safety, but FBI pushing forward. Core with no flash. Nice route there. The Tangle Barbs do come out from is going to be able to peel, but they grab a grub. It is 2 to TL. Only one goes the way of 100 Thieves.
And this is not the pace of game that a jungle Zyra wants. This is way too active. It's way too many dives. I do want to try and take stock of what has actually happened so far, though, because there's been so many kill trades. A 500 gold lead for the Kai'Sa, and obviously more fighting that I think that's a nice...
That does land, and Umpty's got no flash, no way out. He's gone. APA, though, getting in behind FBI. FBI has no flash. He's going to get ran down. There's no mana, though, for Jan. He can't walk into the tower. He is just taunting on them. He knows they're in a great spot. They get the kill top. They survive the attack mid. And FBI feeling great about it. Another Cocoon lands. It is just point and click for this guy. It's going to be another kill. Ayla is on fire. Brother can't miss. He's looking like Steph Curry out there.
He's
unbelievable.
3-0-3 on the support Elise. I'm sorry. I didn't believe in you, Ayla, coming in. You proved me absolutely wrong.
I've seen these games in solo queue. They usually do not go well for the other team. Early Storm Surge, early Bloodsong, the amount of burst that this support can put out. He walks up to you, he Qs you, it doesn't even hit a Cocoon.
Yeah.
And you kind of just lose all your health. It's crazy.
It feels so bad, the amount of damage that's going to be coming out of this support Elise.
Yeah. And it's because
stuff from Ayla.
It's because he's not a support Elise at this stage. He's got 3,000 gold. That's more than APA. So, and he has the Sork shoes early. He's going to have the Storm Surge soon. We have 3,100 gold on the Elise at the moment. Support 1.3k gold lead, but he's one of the richest players in the game.
And +8 CS.
Look, he's richer than his own mid laner at the moment.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Has the Hextech alternator already. And of course, he is going to be collecting that support item gold quite a lot when you get that Bloodsong. It is going to be really nice. Swing and a miss, drops the ulti. Ayla's going to flash out of the ultimate, though, and in comes FBI. And now, you've got no flash. You're kind of in the wrong spot, but in comes the Galio ultimate, trying to peel. I'm trying to get him to safety. But the question is now, can he get himself to safety? Is the ultimate's going to get popped there? Nice damage over the wall onto River. River in some trouble, but will be able to back it up. APA goes down for the sins of his jungler.
Oof. This is some rough looks coming out of TL. Whenever they want to make a play, it really looks like 100 Thieves are there and kind of able to receive it and then get their own kill in advantage. It's
so fascinating, too, because of the momentum you would expect from a series like this. When 100 Thieves basically had the series in the bag for 2-0 and then throws it at the Nexus of Team Liquid, a lot of times you go into the next game a little bit jittered, but they have been so on top of things. Team Liquid is the one that seems to be trying to make these desperation plays, and this could be another one. They're like, this low-health Wukong is on Drake. We must stop it, but there's just no way in.
Sniper going all out, and Impact's in trouble. Can he get a solo kill in the 1v1? He's chasing after him. It's a trade of flashes. Sniper asserting dominance there, but is coming in. Impact has the backup. Will Sniper make that read? He spots him now. He knows he needs to run. Going to be able to get back out to safety. They take the Dragon on the bot side, and Empty just has to cover.
Yeah, and it looks like they cleaned up Drake on the bot side. And again, this is definitely not the early game he would have wanted, having to respond to so many of these plays set up by Ayla and River. It really seems like
It's another scrap here down on the bot side. APA goes forward. Nice sidestep there. Dodging out on the Cocoon. That was important. And APA will stay alive.
Yeah, Ayla's gone cold. He's missed like 5 Cocoons in a row, man, after being completely on fire. Let's see if they can stop this recall, though. River would love to.
They definitely can, and we'll see if there's going to be a TP in from APA. Can they force anything out, or are they just going to try to make the dive happen? There's the TP.
It's slow.
And they're going to try to go for it anyway. They will just have to walk it out. It's a swing and a miss. They did have an interrupt on the Galio TP down on the bot side. That was the Victor ultimate used for the silence when you cast it. It interrupts channels, so they're able to stop that down in the bot lane, and that's why they decided to go for the dive.
It hurts their pressure regardless, though, because they spent the Wukong time up there. Impact can teleport back, and now they'll have no Victor ult. But Jan, look out.
Looking. Flash forced. Nicely done. But the tower shots are coming through. He's trying to step forward. He is able to get him. No heal or anything available. Really good chompers, kind of locking him in place as he went forward with that repel. Does get punished for it. That's a big shutdown given over to the Jinx.
Yeah, it's a shutdown. It goes over, gives him the slight
Right back to action, though. They're going to look for this. Going to be started off here by Core. The taunt comes through. The Zyra ultimate, nowhere to move. But Core is going to die. Maybe. No, has the flash. Gets out just in time.
And that's the Victor ult that was used for the teleport. So that's actually a string of plays that keep Team Liquid completely in this game. The fact that they've had all these bad things happen, they're only down 1,000 gold. Their Jinx is only down 200. Their Galio's not down whatsoever. They are kind of fine after it did look so disastrous. This is such a huge play by Yon in the mid lane and mistake by Ayla. That's one of those things where you just keep playing, you keep focused this entire time, even if the game seems hopeless, because you get that shutdown onto Elise as the Jinx and you can be right back in it.
Absolutely. Well played there by Yon, making it happen for the team, but the scaling still really strong over on 100 Thieves, and they still have some very powerful carries here. You look at River, has the early Triforce completed. That is going to be threatening, and I'm concerned for impact here. You get behind on Mbessa, you don't really offer much. You know, you don't really have a lot of that utility. River here around mid lane with Ayla. They are going to be kind of this duo moving around the map, trying to find plays. We'll see if Ayla can find anything here. Is level 6, you know, of course not soaking a lot of experience, has just been mostly moving around the map, and while he's going to have a ton of damage, he is still going to be very killable. If he gets taunted, if he gets stunned by Leona, you can insta-die.
You see them kind of chasing AP out of lane. Oh!
Phase Rush Galio, very hard to kill.
Going to be looking like a dive, potentially coming in here for Sniper. We'll see if they can pull this off. It's going to be risky here. He is very tanky. Core, again, going to be the one to start this off. Nice buffer there with the W, trying to pull back. Is not going to be able to do it. The public execution comes through. Core just tanks it up. Well played, the Leona. Proven too much for that tower.
Absolutely. Both ganks worth 3 people at 12 minutes. Towers can be strong. They're not that strong. Those ganks are still going to work, and it's a bit of a race for turret. Interestingly enough, I think TL is going to get it because Umpty sticks around. The 3 players that 100 Thieves used to dive didn't stick around.
Back.
River took a Gromp instead.
He has Triforce. They are going to kill this fast. Is it going to be fast enough? This is incredibly close. It's going to be a race. W getting used, everything getting popped. Oh my God. That was about 1 auto before them, and that would have been feats of strength for 100 Thieves, so you called it out, Jat.
Yeah, they can still get it, but River, that's a very valuable Gromp he just took. I don't think he quite realized that the Gromp was going to be the difference between actually just guaranteeing the feats of strength. One more, either Rift Herald or Drake, and they'll still get it, but at the moment it delays it.
Umpty pretty far up. Ayla has the pieces now for his item, but doesn't quite have the combined gold. Has slowed down. Hasn't been able to find a kill in a little bit. And it's actually been Core who has been making more of an impact on the map with these dives. TL has been going for these setup plays. Just have Core start it up, lock him down, utilize Zyra, utilize APA. When the Leona CC hits, the rest is sure to follow. And it is very difficult to outplay those situations when you're CC'd for 6 to 8 seconds.
I think Leona's going to scale better than Elise.
Yeah.
It depends. It does depend. There's certain solo queue situations where when the Elise has the burst items, you're actually just deleting squishies all over the map, even into late game. But just thinking about the actual targets that he's going to be able to hit, I don't think Yon's going to present himself as a target. It's really hard to get Umpty because Umpty's going to be in the backline as well. And the Elise is going to have no ability to assassinate the Galio, Mbessa, or Leona.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically you're hitting Mbessa, you're hitting Zyra, or you're hitting Jinx, right? And you're kind of just trying to chunk all 3. The ideal world is you come out of a bush, you catch Yon, you catch Umpty, something like that. But at the very least, you know, you can try to get a good chunk of damage on Mbessa and help your front line to be able to burst her down. Mbessa, though, of course, got the kill there. And River's going to go in, pops the Cyclone. This is pretty preemptive against a Phase Rush Galio. Is going to let it rip. Really gets nothing from that. Surprised to see him go for the play. Maybe thought FBI was closer to be able to ult in, but just didn't quite have range on that ultimate. It is just rank 1.
They knew APA was flashless, so I would imagine that he thought the Kai'Sa, that would be the only reasonable explanation for a play like that, because now they lose the ability to start the Drake, and they have to kind of hope that they get that cooldown back since APA's back on the map with ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't really want to attempt a big fight here when one of your strongest members is down in your ulti, and Wukong is so dependent on that. You can see impact on the Mbessa moving down the river, trying to threaten Ayla. Fishing around, has eyes on Core. They are going to TP in. Is it going to be interrupted, though? Can Impact get there to stop it? No, Impact cannot. So he's going to have to answer his own TP if he wants. This may just give 100 Thieves the Dragon. It looks like they're going to call it off, and TL will just push up topside, try to get some more gold for Impact, and make sure he's staying relevant.
Yeah, so that's now 2 Drakes over 400 Thieves. I did like how, you know, they did have Quid pushing up that bot side wave to kind of help set that up. River did blow his ultimate, which is unfortunate chasing, but they still had a pretty good setup on that with the TP coming in.
Oh, teleport going to be coming in. River just going to be able to clone to safety. They get the teleport and the ult there. Pulling the gun a little bit quick. You know, you can feel the nerves, I feel like, in this, where people are just, oh, we got to make a play. We got to make something happen, you know, and it's just a bit quick.
A little bit jumpy. I would say the overall momentum of the game is still shifting towards TL. So, yes, 100 Thieves did secure that Drake in the end to secure 2 out of 3 of the feats, but...
Yeah, they got feats now.
Yep.
But just the fact that this game was like 3,000 gold at like 8 minutes, and it's now almost even. I mean, every time I look up, Team Liquid is closer. They're pushing side lanes deeper. They're getting more CS overall, and River, despite being 3-0 on the Wukong, hasn't made effectual plays since his early start. So I think Team Liquid is just... They kind of had a bit of a disaster at the start, but they've done a really good job recovering.
Yeah, they have. I mean, really calm, cool, collected play for the most part, you know, setting up a lot of good dives and being able to get their members that were behind back in a winning position. You know, Mbessa was looking kind of rough, but Mbessa doesn't TP, gets extra CS there, gets a kill on the previous dive. Jan has an individual outplay to get a big shutdown. That gets him back involved after the disastrous lane swap, and now Impact gets tower down on bot side. He's 1.2k ahead from what was looking like, you know, he was going to be pretty ineffective in this game.
And now the gold is pretty much dead even, right? Like slightly in favor of TL, but that turret was the eventual gold shift, and that's actually where that mid lane play, getting the shutdown onto Jan, was just absolutely massive for TL.
And with how bloody this series has been, I know last year Team Liquid set the LCS record for most kills in a best of 5.
True.
They might get it for most kills in a best of 3 here. So the all-time record best of 3 in LCS history was 124. So far this series is at 111.
Wow.
So I think there's a decent chance we get 14 more kills and set a fresh LTA
We could
and
do it.
all-time LCS record.
I believe in us.
I believe in both of these teams, actually.
Ability to kill 14 more times.
Yeah, 100 Thieves is another team that just, again, they really like to fight. That is one of their strengths. It's one of the things they consider a strength, is their aggressiveness. As we see them maybe
they're going to try to turn here. The clone was already used, so he has no real way out. The choppers come in. The Galio ult comes in as well. He does get a kill, though. A lot spent for 1-for-1. Nicely done to get that kill, and they get the charge mid. Impact in trouble down on bot side. FBI has already used the ulti, Ez has sniper, so Impact will just dash it out to safety.
Such an interesting game there. Kill going over to Quid, but another kill going over to Jan. Jan was one of the people who kind of dragged Team Liquid to the finish line in the last game. He put out so much damage on that Varus. And even though the start of this game was a total disaster, he's actually ahead of FBI's Kaisa now, who just burned Flash trying to get that kill.
I've got to say, you know, not that Quid is playing bad by any means, but how much of a difference can you feel him being off of a playmaker here as FBI steps forward? You know, Quid just hasn't been the one starting plays.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we really want to see Quid here, we see this engage up onto Core JJ, the trade for River, which is definitely a trade that TL will absolutely take, especially since the 100 Thieves are not able to get impact on this. The big thing to me for 100 Thieves is that I think you're right. Like, Quid looks so much more comfortable on a lot of these melee carries where he's going in. He has really good team fight targeting with those. He's not necessarily outside of his Azir, someone who really sits back and kind of does damage on a mage like Victor.
We do have to wait and see, though, because he's, at the moment, the richest person in the game.
Almost 1K ahead, as we're saying
He's not playing bad by any means.
Exactly, but the team is just going to play more slowly.
It's kind of like the Core JJ discussion, right? Where you can talk about, it's like Core, when he would be playing Enchanters, people are like, yeah, he's playing Enchanters really well, but TL still looks worse.
The Mako problem.
Exactly. I mean, Quid can be playing the Victor really well, but you're losing that kind of aggressiveness. He's just such a playmaker. He finds these angles that on Victor you can't really do in the same way. The question is, can he pay that back later in the team fights? Because that's where Victor really becomes the X factor. When you get those 2-3 items, if you position perfectly, if you're hitting all your lasers on multiple members, you can dominate a fight, just in a different way.
As we see here,
Speaking of which,
health
Victor
going down to that Victor ultimate.
They're going to go right for Otacon, I think. Sniper.
Sniper has TP'd in. That's a trade of flashes on both sides. But yeah, incredibly low. Means it's going to be difficult for them to contest. He is staying around, though. River is tanking this up. FBI and Quid doing damage. Gravity Field going to get dropped there as Sniper trying to zone Impact. Impact did look with the public execution, didn't find anything. This is getting incredibly low. It's going to be secured, and now the fight is going to break out in earnest. Ayla in the back line. In comes the big Galio ultimate, but they have the G-Ace, and you do not. Yon going to get chased down here by Quid. That's another kill going their way. This is going so well. 400 Thieves, because they have the G-Ace, because they're about to respawn. TL's trying to get as much as they possibly can. Quid going to get sent back to base here. Sniper fighting it out, won't get another, but still, all 5 members will be back on the map, and they should be able to run back out here and take the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, that's all 5 GAs spent immediately, but 23-second death timer on Yon, getting more gold over to Quid's Victor. He's almost at 10,000 now, and likely getting the soul point is a big swing in this game.
I feel like we have to just retract what we said about Quid, right? Because it was his ultimate getting onto really chunking him out as they were setting up for Otacon, and then his flank around the back of the fight as well. He played that fight really well, and now it results in 100 Thieves being on soul point after they're going to take down this Ocean Drake.
And I want to see that replay because it looked to me like public execution was just a swing and a miss, and Impact didn't hit anyone, couldn't actually get access into the back line because of that. This got a lot closer than you would think, because sometimes you have these resets where they're like, oh, the jungler has it, but no one helps you take the Dragon, and it takes a really long time to kill. So almost got taken away, didn't end up mattering, and here it is one more time. I want to keep my eyes on that public execution.
Yeah. And this is where Quid really gets out of the fight already, and that's what initially allows for the TP in and allows for the setup.
And you can see Team Liquid does want to go for the fight, because even though 100 Thieves is dodging some of the abilities, they're still going to be pretty shredded. So River's going to be very squishy if they are able to get the engage.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, Impact can make it in. Gets absolutely annihilated
by Ayla.
He was way too far up. He's never going to be able to steal that. He should definitely be playing for the fight. Ayla gets the kill early, and then I think at this point, TL has a chance to kind of turn it around, but the fact that Quid gets that 571 gold for killing the Jinx really turns it in the favor of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, that's Jinx now with no sums here and getting taken down. More gold in the pockets of this Victor. Victor now 1,400 or so gold ahead individually in that matchup, working towards the Void Staff, and is going for one of those high damage builds. You know, a lot of people were kind of critical of Palafox's build yesterday when, you know, he went for Archangels into Zonias. This is a much more offensive build. You know, is going to be putting out a lot of damage, but you are more vulnerable. So that is the trade-off if you get caught. Nice repel from Ayla. Will he still safe?
Yeah, he's still dead, I think. Yep.
That's the squishy Elise here. He wasn't able to repel any distance. He could just dodge an ability with it and was flashless. So definitely a different type of support. Didn't want to burn his stasis on that with no objectives being up.
River's still looking for Yon.
Yeah, River is looking.
Flashless.
There is no flash.
Yep.
And in comes FBI.
Galio,
in comes the Galio ultimate. Is that going to buy enough time? Yon going to go down to the Victor ulti, and now APA could be in some trouble. Great route, though, from Umpty. They're going to take down Quid. Very likely Impact on the side, trying to make something happen. Core is low, though. APA is low. FBI still high on health, but it's APA flashing back in, finding the carry. Gets FBI. They knock him down, and now it's Sniper versus the world. Low health bars, but he can't have a Cassante moment. Gets taken down. APA and Core limp away, but they stay alive.
Blinking health bars, but it makes all the difference, especially since they were able to take out Quid and FBI. It starts with this pick onto Ayla, though, right? So even though Ayla tries to repel out, Core immediately gets onto him. That is the squishiness of Elise. They still go for this because of the flashless on.
Yeah.
Really nice Galio ultimate coming in, too.
They burn everything, but you can see Quid isn't able to redirect the ult back to the rest of the team, so it ends up just fizzling. If that was somehow able to pull back onto Core, maybe they can get more kills. And then beautiful play by Impact to really lock down the Kai'Sa. FBI thought he was going to be able to clean that fight up, and Team Liquid, they're completely back in it now.
Yeah, that was a really big fight for them. FBI was trying to go in, you know, with the Wukong to get that initial kill on Yon. Tried to flash out of the Galio ultimate, still got hit by the edge of it and lost the flash.
Yeah.
If he had had the flash to be able to react to the Galio E at the end that caught him alongside Impact, might have been a different fight, because that was some really close to getting a kill.
Yeah, but I think that fight's also a microcosm of how good Galio Zyra can be into like a Wukong Kai'Sa engage, because even if they're able to catch a flashless Jinx, they're still going to pay for it in some way, shape, or form. So like this is really anyone's game, because I'd say 100 Thieves has probably been playing a little bit better, but if I look at just the structure of the team comps, I'd want to favor Team Liquid a little bit.
We'll see. Both teams now out on the map trying to play for vision around this area. You can see the AP is collapsing down. Core JJ moving up. They know there is no flash on FBI, but Core is going to be spotted. TL trying to reclaim vision in this area. And Zyra is great at doing that. Yes, you are squishy, but you can spawn plants in those brushes. You can poke away. And when you have all of that plant damage coming out, it's actually really annoying trying to stay in the area. As there's the public execution over the wall, does find him. Are they going to be able to burst him down? Yes, FBI is gone. There's the Galio ultimate coming through. River going to get caught as well. The gravity field gets dropped. Quid and Ayla trying to get some damage back, but they don't quite have enough. This gravity storm doing a ton of damage, and in comes Sniper, slowing down Core. Core surviving again with almost no health. Now he falls. Ayla trying to chase. Impact very low, but it's Yon pushing them back. It's Yon versus the world here. The gravity field almost catches him. He's got to flash out. Impact trying to get back in there. Stepping forward, can't find the route. The fight will dissipate. Very close back and forth.
Woo, battle of the MVP
They're going to go back in. No flash from Yon. He's going to pop the barrier. There's the stasis. River's got to get back here. They are going to catch him. They take him down, and Quid flashes out to safety. Quid is a monster. You can't contain him. You can only hope to slow him down. 100 Thieves take the fight and control of the game.
And we thought that Quid was not going to be able to have an impact. This is a great setup, by the way, from Impact coming in, immediately taking FBI out, and TL think, okay, we are safe to come up on this. But then Victor coming in, his ultimate does so much damage, and then Sniper having a great Cassante moment.
And then also, it was just alive enough to allow the reset to make that ultimate get a little bit bigger. But it really is the battle of the MVPs. Impact won MVP 2024 summer, makes an amazing engage onto FBI. Quid comes in at the end, does absolutely everything, and then keeps pushing, baits with the stopwatch. Zonia's at the end of it. After that fight, they get Soul, and final factor, that's an LCS or LTA North record for most kills in a best of 3.
Wow.
We did it.
What a fun series.
I believed in these two teams. They delivered.
And meanwhile, Ocean Soul claimed. So we had some fights that were very close, very scrappy. Ocean Soul can absolutely make the difference. He is just gonna kill him, but in goes Core. They are trying to get Quid. Quid in a lot of trouble here potentially, but no one in position to actually follow up. They couldn't go through and go for anything else. Jinx falls for Ayla on the other side. Now they're feeling like, hey, we could actually go over towards Baron. That's public execution. Looked like, swing and a miss from Impact. Tried to go over the wall. Didn't find anyone.
And Ayla for Yon is absolutely a trade that you will take. Taking the Jinx completely out of it. Again, it's Quid showing up massive on this Victor.
Here we go again. Impact trying to come in from above them, but they're just going to engage away from him. FBI trying to push forward. Can Impact get there? He has no public execution. Remember, he missed over the wall, and now Impact has to run. Core getting pushed out, but Quid will just not be stopped. He is not afraid. He's going forward. FBI ulting into the back line, trying to take down Umti. Umti going over the wall, but he's going to get sniped down, and they're just going to go right on to Baron. They have the Ocean Soul. They'll heal right back up. Impact still staying around, seeing if he can make anything happen, but I just can't see it. Impact shows himself. They're going to TP back here. Jinx trying to come out from base, but Ayla is back, and Ayla is going to be pushing him forward. We can see Quid now moving out, fighting Impact on the side. APA getting a nice chunk. In comes FBI, though, to back up his support, and APA can't take that damage. He is down, and Quid is winning the fight against Impact. Impact on the run. Yon going to look for the snipe. Can't get it with a Jinx ult, and now Ayla's in on top of him. Quid's going to take him down as well. FBI and Quid are just going crazy, pushing forward with the Ocean Soul. They are not afraid whatsoever.
Quid on this Victor is absolutely bonkers. We were wondering, okay, can he have the same impact on something that's not melee, not Azir? Absolutely massive in all 3 games, taking the TL carries out of every single fight.
He's reached raid boss status for sure with the phase rush right now, and he's a big-time bruiser at the moment too, with the upgraded Merc Treads and the Zonia's Hourglass and the Ocean Soul just keeping him full health over and over again. Team Liquid tried desperately to stop this from happening, but they just didn't have enough at the very end of it. So this is after they're already without Jinx, so it's going to be a hard fight at all. And just watch Quid. He's just spacing so well for any type of re-engage they'd have to try and burst him out. Big thing is he can't get caught by any Zyra damage. I don't think the Galio himself could kill him. FBI takes out Zyra on one side, Quid does the other.
We got the comms replay here. Let's see what he said.
Sam is a genius.
Well, they are excited, and TL going to be feeling the pressure now. Down 7K, down a Soul, down a Baron. This is looking like it's almost all but wrapped up. FBI and Quid, the dynamic duo here for the team, really has been showing up, but look at the damage out of the Victor, especially in this game 3.
He's been at or over 1,000 damage per minute in all
every
3 games.
Single game.
That's crazy.
Just insane, and I really, from 100 Thieves, I want to see how they siege this, right? That was where the mistake came in last time.
Yeah, Zonia's going to be forced, but that was UMT's ultimate to force it out on the Elise. You can see APA still working on his third item here, and Quid is on 4 fully completed items plus the upgraded boots. UMT takes 1 laser, and he has got to go back to base. Double Baron cannon minions here working away on this tower. Mid lane's getting pushed in as well by Sniper. River's going to come in behind APA and look to chunk him out. He actually blocks him on the E, has to force the flash there. APA now down a big playmaking tool, and the mid lane inhibitor will fall.
Yeah, definitely trying to play a little bit cautious. No diving Nexus turrets at the moment. They have the Ocean Soul, so they can take poke. It won't matter. Still got some time on this Baron. I think they just want to clear 2 inhibs.
Oh, Impact going forward, but he went way too far forward. Has to flash out immediately. Might still die to the Victor ulti. He is burning down. The Locket will save him, but Impact bit off way more than he can chew. 100 Thieves, though, the push will just not stop. 2 inhibitors down. In goes Corey. Tries to find him a Zenith Blade. He's going to get gravity fielded up, and FBI is hitting him. He's getting chunked down very low. You can see River even proxying the wave on the top side. His Impact's going to go in on Quid. Doesn't like that trade very much, though. Quid's just going to heal it right back up. 100 Thieves hanging around. Look at He takes both sides of the lasers. Almost dies before he gets back to the fountain. First Nexus tower is down. 100 Thieves just relentless here. The public execution is a swing and a miss again. It's FBI in the back line trying to take down Yon. Has to go into the stations, but the choppers are there. He's going to be knocked up. He's going to be able to flash out with the cleanse. Both towers are down. The Nexus is going to be the target, but not before they clean up some more kills. 100 Thieves are going to take down TL, are going to go to Brazil, and going to be the first or second seed guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah.